Next up, with their talk titled OSU Farm to School Cross-Programmatic Efforts, I'd like to welcome Dr. Michelle Markesteyn, our OSU Extension Farm to School Coordinator, to the stage. Her co-speaker or co-presenter, Melinda Barker, who is the Executive Director for Oregon Farm to School and the School Garden Network, cannot be with us today.
I don't know why we do this to pretend we're driving, but this is me driving down the road a couple weeks ago with my 16-year-old son, who is thinking about careers and colleges. He tours OSU in January, very excited. And a call from an extension colleague comes on. So I take it, it's on speakerphone. And we blah, 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 blah about an upcoming meeting. I'm still driving. And we say our goodbyes, I hang up, and I say, you know, because I'm thinking, I need to prompt him to think about the adult working world. So I'm like, so what'd you think of that call? Fascinating. All right, tell me more. Well, Mom, like really? Didn't you go to school for like ecosystem something and then law school? And didn't you like get a PhD in nutrition? I've just always wondered why after all that would you go into school gardening? I was like, what? He goes, but I get it. In like a half hour, you guys talked about obesity, climate, study design, something about the legislature. You're talking about academic achievement, kids' careers, and goofy vegetable cartoons. I had no idea school gardening was so serious or that it took so many friends to make it happen. And I'm thinking, oh my God, my son got it, right? Farm to School is really serious and fun, transformative, world-changing work. At its underlying theory and evidence tells us that we can make real improvements in academic achievement, public health, social capital, economic development, and even environmental quality in the different things we do. What's a little challenging about it is it's not an off-the-shelf program that Extension can implement. It's really any set of practices that connect the cafeteria, classroom, and community. A lot of times, and I was gonna say, well, that said, the state of Oregon does have a farm to school program. The state legislature has appropriated at least $30 million at this point, 2/3 of which goes to not only schools to purchase food, but increasingly grants to producers for equipment and infrastructure. And then about $10 million has already been in competitive grants, of which every single OSU faculty and staff, Cross Extension and other colleges who have applied, have received funding from it. And it's working. So not only do we have our state investment, we also have a lot of our public and other private investments. And to date, we have at least one school garden in every single county. We have over 140 of the nearly 200 school districts in the state buying from hundreds of farmers, fishers, ranchers, and food processors. So just a show of hands, how many people have anything to do with teaching kids about gardening, food, nutrition, food preservation? There's Danita. Okay, how about who uses SNAP-Ed Food Hero materials? Who has anything to do with helping producers on any stage of the process getting into local markets? See, we're all already doing farm to school, even if you don't call it that. So the one thing about not only all of us doing that is in the communities, there are also hundreds of community-based organizations and thousands of individuals who are also doing these types of activities. And we found over the past decade, essentially, it's like a big dance. Not a well-rehearsed country line dance that I don't totally know how to do, but we are always stepping on each other's toes is kind of what it came down to. So about 5 years ago, working with the Oregon Farm to School and School Garden Network, our colleagues at the Department of Education and Agriculture and others, started really trying to organize more. So came up with these regions, so that's what the different colors on the maps are, and where the balloons are where the leads, the hubs leads for these are extension folks, either have been or are there now. And so the leads aren't necessarily experts, but they're really dot connectors. You've already heard it this morning. It really matters the local community, what's happening there, and you just need someone on the ground who's facilitating that. So here's an example of that in action. One of the community partners pulled together a community of practice to be able to say, hey, Extension folks, our STEM hub, other teachers, let's get together and streamline services for these different communities. Let's talk about what training and technical assistance needs we each have and coordinate on those. And now they're even starting to apply for grants together to collaborate in different ways. So that's a lot of what's happening out there, but here in Extension, we have so much to celebrate. So many different things are happening, and I just wanted to tell you about these two things. So added to our map, this is really amazing. SNAP-Ed every 3 years has a new plan for their 3-year plan, and it starts in October, so just now a month and a half ago, started the first time ever a strategic initiative in farm to school. So SNAP-Ed units in these counties are also layering in that. And then just this week we announced a farm to school booster program, internal funding just for Extension, of which, again, everyone who applied for one got one. So when you see it in your email, you should do it again. So what is this? This is really just layering so much expertise, support, and connections for really effective programming. So at this point, it is critical that we align our resources and work to really, maximize our collective impact. And so over the next 3 months, our state agency partners, Extension folks, community-based organizations, we are mapping out audacious goals related to local food access and education for all youth in Oregon. And we're also looking at what are the metrics and ways that we're going to track our progress towards it. So, sound a little exciting? A little fun? You want to do it? You can be part of the team. This is super. Our farm to school team is located at the Center for Small Farms. And whether you have a half hour or 100 hours, you can do something. You do not have to change anything you are already doing, actually. You don't have to take on a new big area of work to be able to align our cross-programmatic areas for an even bigger impact. So there you go. I'm so glad. Bye, guys. Sure.
Any questions?
I'm super excited about the booster grants. Can you give us an example of something that an individual Extension faculty member proposed to do that's going to move farm to school forward in their local community?
I'm wondering if someone's in the room who could do it themselves, actually. I should have said there are 19 counties and 2 statewide programs. Is anyone here who applied for one? Let's hear it.
Yeah, so Gillum County applied for our Early Learning Center, their Head Start program. And what you may be aware, in Oregon, every county is considered a childcare desert. So our childcare facilities are very, very short-staffed. So after COVID, I was able to go back in the classroom and we did an outdoor garden, which was lovely. But outdoor gardens need to be watered. And they just didn't have the resources for their teachers to find the time to go out there and actually water the garden. And then they also had a greenhouse, but unfortunately there wasn't someone there to open the doors and deal with the temperature in there. So we applied for a grant to do an automated water system as well as an exhaust fan for their greenhouse. So.
Yay!